The newly confirmed peace envoy for Syria says his main task is to stop the civil war in the country. This as the UN observer mission there has come to an end amid escalating violence. Tens of thousands are fleeing the conflict to neighbouring states, including Jordan. Let's get more on this from RT's Paula Slier, who's at the border with us. Good to see you there, Paula. As the conflict in Syria wears on, the refugee camps in Jordan looking more and more like a long-term option, especially since the Jordanian government's described the situation as a humanitarian crisis.
Well, I'm standing here at the Al-Ramtha border crossing between Jordan and Syria. It's one of the main border crossings between the two countries, but security here is tight and border controls are very, very effective. And this is a way for Amman to deal with the growing influx of Syrian refugees into this country. Now, according to Jordanian estimates, at least 150,000 Syrian refugees are currently in Jordan. They're being housed in refugee camps along this border. The Jordanian government has built 4. It's in the process of building another one. But the situation in those camps is alarming and has caused humanitarian groups to talk about a humanitarian crisis. We know that the camps are overcrowded. People there have little to no access to water and electricity. At the same time, tuberculosis has broken out and the Jordanian Health Ministry is talking about health risks. There were clashes last week between some of those refugees trying to break out of those camps because they actually can't leave them without permission, between the refugees and the police. And a short time ago, there were also clashes as the refugees tried to break down the camp fences. Now, the violence behind me in Syria is starting to spill over into Jordan. Today, there were 4 shells that landed here. One of them badly hurt a young Jordanian girl, and a number of people were rushed to hospital. So that as the Syrian violence creeps closer and closer into neighboring Jordan.
Now, given the situation that it's still pretty tense in Syria and the refugees that are flogging into Jordan, how high are the hopes for peace now, considering the UN observer mission has expired overnight?
Well, as you say, the United Nations observer mission has expired with no real peace prospects on the table. In fact, the situation in Syria has actually gotten worse, with violence there spiraling out of control. Just today, Monday, there were heavy blasts and violence in the capital city of Damascus, as well as in the southern city of Daha. We know that a number of people in the international community have expressed regret that the observer mission is wrapping up. We're hearing from the now newly confirmed new peace envoy that it is his intention to stop the civil war in Syria, and at the same time he has welcomed Iran into peace talks. He says that there needs to be a concerted effort by the international community to deal with the Syrian violence. As far as Russia goes, Moscow has said it regrets the fact that this observer mission is wrapping up and that all that is being left in Damascus really is a small office to deal with a very big problem. The Russian Foreign Ministry has said that the idea that is being put forward to create security zones unilaterally is an idea that will not work. There cannot be any kind of unilateral actions, and that what is needed is collective action by the international community, action that is based on the document that was adopted at the Geneva conference earlier this year. In addition to this, Moscow has said that it is concerned by reports and more evidence that is coming forward that Syrian rebels are receiving weapons that have been smuggled in from Libya. In addition to this, we also know now that the opposition is using British intelligence that is helping it with its rebel attacks on government forces. So a lot of new evidence coming to the fore, and certainly as the situation in Syria does not seem likely to halt anytime soon.
Well, thank you. The RT's Paula Slier reporting from the Jordan-Syria border for that.